Roberto Mendez has lived in Chicago for 12 years. He works construction, pays rent, sends remittances to Michoacan every month. Last Monday, he got a message from his cousin. Did you see? They're paying people to leave. Roberto opened his Facebook, and there was a video from the U.S. Embassy promoting CBP Home app, the Trump administration's new app. The message was clear: $2,600 free flight and forgiveness of fines if you leave voluntarily. Roberto read the full message. His first reaction was, it's a trap. And he's not alone in thinking that. Since the Department of Homeland Security increased the exit bonus from $1,000 to $2,600 on January 21st, the CBP Home app has been dividing the Mexican community. For some, it's tempting money in difficult times. For others, it's literally paying for your own expulsion. But let's analyze the numbers behind this offer. The Trump administration promotes CBP Home as savings for the American taxpayer. A forced deportation costs over 18,000 per person. A voluntary self-deportation through the app costs a little bit over 5,000. The difference, $13,000 in savings for every Mexicano who downloads the app, uploads a photo, fills in his or her personal data, and agrees to vámonos. The Department of Homeland Security claims that 2.2 million people have self deported since January 2025. But there's a problem here. That figure is impossible to verify. An analysis by the prestigious Brookings Institution directly called it not credible. The formally documented deportations add up to about 675,000 in that same period. Now, Christy Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, was direct and very blunt. She said, illegal aliens should take advantage of this gift and self deport because if they don't, we will find them, arrest them, and they will never return. The app already has almost 100,000 registered users. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico is aggressively promoting it with AI generated videos. Their message: the cure for homesickness is here. As if homesickness were a disease cured with $2,600 and a plane ticket. But let's go back to Roberto and the dilemma millions like him are facing. And then what? Roberto asked. When I spoke to him just recently, he said, they give me $2,600. I arrive in Michoacan, and then what do I do? There's no work there. I left my children here in Chicago. What good are $2,600 if I lose everything I built in 12 years? Elizabeth Uribe, an immigration attorney with years of experience, is clear in explaining that self deporting doesn't clean your immigration records. The only thing that can force someone to do this is pure fear, she says. She continues, they're telling you we're giving you a chance to leave on your own, but they're not telling you, once again, the attorney says, they don't tell you what happens after. The government vaguely promises that those who use CBP Home might have facilitated opportunities to return legally in the future. But listen carefully. There are no written guarantees, attorneys tell us. No legal promises, just the word of an administration that declared a national emergency at the border on its first day in office and has promised the largest mass deportation in history. For thousands of Mexicans, the decision simply isn't just between staying or leaving. It's between living in constant fear in the United States or returning to Mexico without any safety net. The 2,600 might last a few months if you're lucky. After that, nothing. And there's what nobody tells you. CBP Home isn't just an app, it's a very well calculated psychological pressure strategy. The Department of Homeland Security announces that those who register to leave voluntarily will be deprioritized for detention while they prepare their departure. Translation in plain English: ICE won't look for you yet. But the threat is still there, and it's there waiting because the threat is very clear. Trump has announced that 2026 will be the year of mass deportations. The Republican Congress has already approved $170 billion to expand detention capacity. They're going to hire 12,000 new ICE agents and conduct unprecedented workplace raids in the United States country's history. The implicit message is really brutal. Uh, Take the money now and leave on your own terms or face something much worse later. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico says it bluntly. Illegal aliens have no reason to ignore this generous offer. Generous. That's the word they use. The data tells us something very interesting, though. Mexico received 160,000 deportees in 2025, the lowest figure since 2001. But that was before CBP Home, before the $2,600, before this massive advertising campaign that turns deportation into a product with a market price. Roberto is still in Chicago. He hasn't downloaded the app. If they're going to deport me, let them deport me, he tells me firmly. But I'm not going to pay for them to kick me out of where I work, where I live, where my children are. Others see it differently, though. In WhatsApp groups, some Mexicans are calculating that's almost 50,000 pesos. I could start something small in Mexico with that. The temptation is real. The fear is real. The desperation is real. Trump is offering $2,600 per head. The question is no longer whether anyone will accept. The question is how many millions of Mexicans are willing to put a price on their exit from the U.S. and how many, like Roberto, prefer the risk of staying to the certainty of leaving with a check from the government that doesn't want them, that wants them out. Please read my article in the Sol de México this week. Thank you.